It's still kind of dark and cold outside, but we have to get going because we have like 170 miles to go from here, the mainland coast of Spain, to Ibiza. And since Floh has a race boat that potentially will do an average of 6 knots, we might get there in under 30 hours. And if we don't, then we have to get there until, well, before it gets dark. So it's time to get up and head to shore with the dogs and pick up anchor. Good morning, world! What's the weather saying, weather frog?
It looks like we are going to motor a lot. So there's a little bit of wind left from yesterday. So yesterday there were some white caps on the waves. So I suppose around 20 knots. There might be 10 left for now, and then it's disappearing to close to 0. So I better get the engine ready.
Django is a quick eater. He eats like double as fast as Olga does. She's like munching away on her croquetas still, and Django is like done since 2 minutes.
High-tech diesel.
That dipstick is just as elaborate as the one that I have on Carl. It's a good one though because it's hard to break it.
I broke it once.
You did?
Yes.
How?
You see, I fixed it. I don't know.
What do you mean you broke it?
I broke it.
You gotta be kidding.
Yeah. And it barely fits into the tank. So this is how much could fit in the tank, probably this much. This is where we are at. And I have like 20-liter marks. And at the top, they are not correct. I have to recalibrate it sometime.
We've got about 170 nautical miles ahead of us, and judging by the forecast, it looks like we'll be motoring quite a bit. Floh's giving the good old Volvo Penta a full checkup. Oil level, coolant, and the transmission fluid for the gearbox, while I'm taking the doggies ashore before we set off. Once we're back on board, it's time to hoist the dinghy onto the deck and take up anchor. More or less our course to go to Ibiza. I can't really see because the captain doesn't like me to see the navigation instrument. It's always hidden inside to make the journey more fun and more exciting. A little bit more guesswork. This is our course. 190. We're sailing with 2 dogs, and they definitely have different strategies. Olga, here, she's my little rescue dog from Panama. She just always wants to sit right next to me when I start the journey, just making sure that she's coming with and needs the body contact, needs the closeness, until she breathes in. Django, on the other hand, as soon as we started moving, he's like, nope, I'm back here in the aft cabin. That's his little hole, that's where he's hiding. That's where he feels comfortable and safe, so that's where he goes. Autopilot working?
Looks like it.
There's absolutely no wind and it's freezing. Boga and I both used to warmer waters are wrapped in blankets and a woolly toque trying to stay warm. Swell from the last storm is still rolling through, making for a bumpy ride. We've hoisted the mainsail just for a bit of stability, but it flops uselessly from side to side in the calm. The hours start blending into each other. We chat and munch on some yummy prawns and tease each other, do a little work and even make some music to pass the time.
Oh man! That was quite the concert. How fast is he going?
43 knots. 34 knots.
Wow. Holy moly. We were just in a live drop with patrons and I was looking aft and I was seeing this massive catamaran ferry speed towards us. It's one of those ferries that goes to the Balearic Islands and it was coming fast and it was on a collision course with us and the AIS was starting to turn. It did veer off though, it did change its course so we're not in collision anymore, which is great. The sun is just setting and on the other side the moon is coming up, so it's really beautiful. It's a full moon and it's huge. The colors are really pretty. We have another 115 miles to go and we're just getting ready for the night, switching on the navigation lights and switching Navionics to night mode, which finally they have, which they didn't have for years and I never understood why. Putting on some warm clothes and hopefully someone's gonna turn off the water maker soon. Floh was adamant to fill the 2 tanks with water on this passage because we have to motor anyway, so it's good to use the power that we're creating to make water. But as you can hear, it's a bit hard on the system, so there is this alarm that's constantly going. But we already filled 1 tank and I think the other one probably is half full by now. It's running quite well. The only thing is that because we're moving quite a bit and the water intake is in the front, like kind of before midships, so because of the movement that we have, the pump is sucking a lot of air in and that sometimes leads to the Kercher stopping because of air in the system. At anchor we didn't have that problem, but underway with a lot of waves there's a little bit of that happening. And apart from that, I think we're going to do 4 on 4 off. I'm definitely going to make sure that I'm going to get a good rest from 8 till 12 and then I get the shitty shift from 12 to 4, but then Floh has to do 2 shifts. But the conditions are really smooth, so I'm going to crawl in the aft cabin in a bit and most likely I'll have 2 dogs that will come snuggle up with me. And I'll be totally refreshed and ready for my night shift. So, here we go again. It's midnight or shortly after midnight and my shift has just started. There's a bit of traffic around us, but apart from that, not much happening. It's pretty light because it's full moon, so you can see a lot. Some of you had said that they are wishing for longer videos. I hear that often. And I'm always wondering, like, what is it that you want longer? Because I find them fairly compact and comprehensive, and I'm wondering what it is that you're looking for in a more lengthy video. I often find that sailing, or right now we're motoring, can be
pretty monotonous, or things are repeating itself. Not much is happening, especially not if things are not breaking. And I would rather not have things breaking than having something to tell you. So let me know in the comments if this is something that you're interested in, or what else you might be interested in. I find it extremely hard to do 4 hours on, like especially at night, the one between 12 and 4. I find it extremely hard to stay up 4 hours straight in the middle of the night when you haven't had a lot of sleep. Interestingly enough, my body does fairly well with the rhythm of single handing, where I just do 15 minutes of sleeping, getting up, taking a look around, and then going back to sleep. And when I do 4 on 4 off with someone, I often find it hard to actually fall asleep, because when it's my boat, then obviously I have the responsibilities, so I tend to wake up in my usual solo sailing rhythm as well, and like at least every half hour I'm like sort of checking, and I'm always there with one ear. Now here on Santana, I'm not in charge, I'm just the crew, and still today I went up in the front, in the bow, in the cabin to sleep actually. And still, it took me a long time to fall asleep because of noises, especially because it's a different boat that I'm not used to. What really helps me, and I'm only doing that when I'm sailing as crew or with crew, is an app called Box, and they have like a guide for falling asleep, and that helps me to shut out all the noises and my anxiety that something might be happening, and I actually managed to take advantage of nearly the full amount of length of sleep time that I have. Interestingly, the founder of Box is one of Floh's friends, and I'm happy to tell you that he's given us some discount codes. So if you use the code NIKA25 at checkout, you get 25% off at Box. So go and check it out. Please don't do it when you're single handing. I'm not sure if that's a good idea, but if you're sailing as crew, maybe give it a chance. We have another 80 miles to go, I think. We've slowed down a little bit. We were super fast in the beginning. I think we had an average of 6 knots, but now, maybe because there's some more wind on our nose, but I think there must be some kind of current. I didn't check the currents, to be honest, so I'm not sure. I'll check tomorrow when we have internet again. But it seems that because sea state is kind of the same, but there must be some kind of current that we're heading into.
We made it safely through the night, but on the second day at sea we noticed some strange movements in the boom. Turns out the constant flopping of the mainsail has shaken a few rivets loose in the in-boom furling system. But no worries, Floh channels his inner MacGyver and manages a mid-passage fix while underway.
The wind has picked up a little bit and also turned into a favorable direction. So I hope that Floh's gonna finish his little fixing soon so we can actually hoist the sail again and sail the last stretch to Ibiza. That'd be nice. Something came flying at me. I wonder if that's supposed to be like this. There we go, drill bit number 2.
Ooh, I'm super happy. I'd seen this wind in the forecast and I had hoped that it was going to be strong enough for us to sail. And we're cruising along nicely, doing between 4 and 5 knots. Such a treat. The last 20 miles we're getting to sail a little bit. We can already see Ibiza in front of us. Floh caught a fish. It was a bit chaotic, which is why we didn't film. He was just trying to repair something on the boom, and he had just launched the water maker. So the water maker was running, and he was back at the boom, and then the line of the rod started going like so it was all a bit much at once.
Thanks to Floh's nifty repair, we can hoist the mainsail again, and finally Santana gets to spread her wings. After motoring for most of the passage, the last 20 nautical miles gift us with some beautiful sailing. Santana slices through the water and gliding over the deep blue. She feels elegant, confident, and effortless, and we even get a visit from some whales. We're soaking up these peaceful moments at sea before we're arriving in the anchorage of Tagumagu. But more about that next week.